Hello and welcome to the Tongues of the Trees channel. I'm Elizabeth Ashley, the Secret Healer, and I understand that you want to know,
what is grapefruit essential oil good for?
Well, you've come to the right place. I have 30 years professional experience as an aromatherapist. I'm also the author of the Secret Healer series of aromatherapy manuals, of which there are 20, and the co-creator of the Tongues in the Trees aromatherapy cards. And today we're going to talk about grapefruit essential oil. But we're only going to talk about the physical properties, because there's so much to learn about grapefruit, not least there's a lot of safety information to it. So if you find that, yes, I'm interested in doing what she said, going to use the grapefruit essential oil in the way that she said, you might want to pop over to another video that I've made, a much more in-depth video, and I'll show you how to access that in a moment. But let's have a look first of all at what you would use grapefruit for. So on the card it says confidence. Definitely. And I really say body confidence, because grapefruit does two fantastic things really. It breaks down fat and it flushes out the lymphatic system. So if you don't know what the lymphatic system is first, so the lymphatic system has two main functions. The first is immunity. And the second is to move waste products out of the system. It does other things, but those are the main two things. And it's right the way through your body. But unlike the heart, which pumps circulation, it runs alongside circulation. The heart pumps the blood, doesn't it? But the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump. So what it relies on to move this lymphatic fluid around the body is muscle tone. Muscle tone. So if you are somebody who moves around a lot and you do lots of walking or lots of sport, then the chances are you have got this lovely svelte straight skin. If you are, however, somebody who does not, and you look at your thighs and you give them a pinch and it goes orange peely, you know, the cellulite, that's a really good example of poor lymphatic tone. But also if you find swelling in your ankles in particular, sometimes in your hands or here, this can get baggy, can't it? Fills up with fluid. If you have puffy eyes, all of that's a symptom of poor lymphatic drainage. So particularly for cellulite, it is absolutely wonderful. What else have I put in here? So I've put, it's got a fresh, zingy, uplifting note, and it has. It's just like, come on! When you smell it, it's like, come on, what are we going to do? Take on the world. It's beautiful, beautiful. And we talk about that so much more in the other video that I'm going to give you the link to, because we're going to talk about the psychological aspects and how we can tap into those using essential oils. But if you are somebody who's trying to lose weight, or if you're somebody who is trying to just like look a bit better, then grapefruit's great, because it's really going to tone everything up. It's going to break down the fatty deposits, and it's going to flush them out of the system. What it also does, unfortunately, the opposite side, is it stimulates appetite. So if you're trying to lose weight, just be careful of that. But if you have somebody who has anorexia, or is feeling a bit rubbish after chemotherapy, or just is has lost a lot of weight after feeling ill, or, you know, when my dad died, I didn't eat for days and days. I just didn't feel like I wanted to eat. I just lost my appetite completely. It's just there in the background, and suddenly you go, I could eat, definitely could eat. So that's a really important aspect of the grapefruit. It's a tonic for the liver. Now, I find myself doing these videos and talking about this a lot. So if you've watched a couple more of my videos in the series, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but this is one of the most important aspects of preventative medicine, I think. That if you exist in a state of stress, your body puts a lot of pressure on the adrenal glands to keep on secreting adrenaline. Yeah. And so if you exist in a state of long-term stress, it has to keep on secreting that adrenaline, but it also and cortisol and other stress hormones. But where does it get the power to keep on doing that? After a while, the adrenals get tired, get exhausted. You will have heard, I'm sure, of adrenal fatigue. And what that means is that it can no longer keep on secreting. But the body does have a very clever system, nearly dropped my book, where it will draw extra reserves of energy from the liver. And so that means it can keep on secreting these adrenaline hormones, these stress hormones, but the liver takes the flak. And incidentally, after the liver, then that draws from the pituitary. So then you start to see all sorts of hormonal problems with the pituitary. But in the liver's the hormone to the whole body. So it's in charge of metabolism, in charge of digestion, all many different things, clotting in the blood, so many different functions. And it hasn't got the strength anymore. So what happens is it goes from working at 100% to maybe working at 70%. Well, that means that there's 30% toxicity in the liver, and that starts to present as things like non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which is one of the things that you will always see happening with people who have atopic eczema, for example. Now, that's the wonderful thing about aromatherapy, is you would never think of using grapefruit essential oil for eczema. It's not indicated. So you could be treating eczema and you would never get to the idea of grapefruit as a thing, because what you're doing is you're cleansing the liver, you're toning the liver. But without that key, then you are probably not going to be very successful with dealing with the eczema. And likewise, I do feel that most of these conditions, especially stress related ones, have emotional components to them. So that's a really important part of using the essential oils. How do we tap into that? How do we go from the person that is suffering from eczema and is really embarrassed about their skin to going to senior school and being confident? How do we tap into that? And the other video is going to look at that. But very, very important, because that's one of the key ways that you use it. Tones and cleanses the skin, especially helpful to oily skins. Really, it's very astringent. So you only use a very small amount. But if you have got somebody, I would say teenage really grimy, oily skin, then a little drop of grapefruit is beautiful. However, between you and I, there are so many safety concerns with grapefruit, and I don't want to put you off using it because it's a great oil to use. So, excuse me, I do cover that in this other video, as well as the emotional, the mental, the psychological. We do look at the safety. So what drugs can it contraindicate with? It does have some strange interactions with some drugs and some strange interactions with some conditions. And also it's what's called phototoxic. That means that if you use it on the skin and you go into bright sunlight, then it can react on the skin and make it blotchy, but also kind of burn it. So we talk about that. There are ways to get around that. So if you want to know how to do that, go down, especially if you're looking for that beach bum. You don't want that, you know, tight, nice looking butt burnt. You don't want a burnt butt, do you? So we talk about that in the other video too. Now, the co-creator of these cards, I am not responsible for the artwork. Beautiful, isn't it? I write the poems that go with them as if the oil is talking to you. And incidentally, I think the last line of the poem for Grapefruit says you'll want to show off your bum. But the person who's responsible for designing these in the first place is a Hungarian aromatherapist called Gergely Halodi. He and I do lots of work together, and I can tell you he's fantastic at blending essential oils, far better than I am. And so when I was doing the notes, I wrote all my bits, and then when it said what essential oils go well with grapefruit essential oil, I left it blank for him to fill in. So I get a free lesson too. So we're going to talk about how to blend them. So incidentally, the link to do that is just below in the description below. And what we'll cover is all the aspects of the psychological, different ways that I can use, that I would use grapefruit essential oil, the safety, really important with grapefruit. Things like, can you use it in pregnancy? Can you use it breastfeeding? Is it safe around children? Is it safe around my cats? Is it safe around my dogs? Lots of people seem to want to know that, so I had to go away and do that research for you. And so what you'll get, as well as a much more detailed lecture, is details of how you can download this book for free should you want to, where you can buy these cards, and we'll talk more about how we use these in the other video, where you can buy those. We'll give you details of our distributor, who also can supply you with beautiful grapefruit essential oil should you want to buy that to go with the card. And then finally we will give you details of an even further video that will show you recipes. If you're thinking, well, I really want to use these things, I'm a bit reluctant to try and blend this myself. Maybe I'm not really sure what other oils to put with the grapefruit to make it really great for cellulite. Then we'll give you access to recipes that I've done, and I'll show you how to make them as well. So all of that is in this other video. So look in the description, the link is below. Now, I'm a big believer that you want to learn something, you go to an expert. So I'm very glad that you came to see me and my oils about the grapefruit. But in terms of getting to learn how to get YouTube working, I'm not the right person. So in a moment, I am going to pass you across to my 10-year-old son, Dexter, because if you want to know about YouTube, you ask a 10-year-old and he will tell you how to share your video if you want to. Incidentally, if you are selling doTERRA grapefruit essential oil or Young Living grapefruit essential oil, and you think, well, I really love the oils, I think they're beautiful, but I'm not really sure about my sales pitch. I want to be sure that I'm giving the safety right. I want to be sure that I'm telling them everything I possibly can, not just about the physical properties or the emotional, what have you. All of those ways in to a biopsychology are useful to you, so make sure that you click. So Dexter will show you how to like and subscribe and share, but also apparently there's a way to get notifications every time Gergely or I uploads more content. So in the meantime, hop on over to the new video and find out what else is geranium essential oil good for. See you on the other side.
So you get your phone, you turn it this way up, and then there's a little red subscribe button. Turn it grey by clicking it, and then there's a little bell. Click that and press all, and at the bottom of your phone or tablet or computer it will say you will receive all notifications. And then there's a little hand with a thumbs up. Click that, it'll turn it blue and it says added to your liked videos, and there will be comments, and if you want to you can send a comment and say like hi's to Mum and Gerglei, and then the link to the next video will be in the description below underneath the video. So bye.